How is everyone doing? 5 minutes of faith and fitness. Let's get at it. We're going to see how we can get fit physically and spiritually to serve not self, but to serve others. So we're going to look at the passage of James today. We're in the book of James, chapter 4. But here, take a look at this. Mildred, the church gossip and self-appointed monitor of the church morals, kept sticking her nose into every person's business around the church. Several members did not approve of her activities, but feared her enough to maintain their silence. Shh, be quiet, Mildred's around. She made a mistake, however, when she accused Frank, a new member, of being an alcoholic after she saw his old pickup parked in the town's only bar that afternoon. She emphatically told Frank and several others that everyone seeing it would know exactly what he was doing. So this is what Frank did. He was a man of a few words, stared at her for a moment, and just turned and walked away. Wow, would you just walk away? He didn't explain, defend, or deny. He said nothing. Take a look at what he did. Later that evening, Frank quietly parked his pickup in front of Mildred's house, walked home, left it there all night. I wonder what kind of gossip that would have been, right? Know your facts, know your truth. Do not continue to promote slander or evil doings on someone to ruin someone. People can build up their reputation for years and it can be torn down in seconds. The evilness, our heart, and sometimes we just want people to fail instead of succeeding. Well, let's look at James chapter 4, verse 11. It says, "Do not speak evil of one another, brethren. He who speaks evil of a brother and judges his brother speaks evil of the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge." We see that by speaking truth to someone, you can still be unkind, right? I love it when people say, yeah, I'm just speaking truth. I'm speaking what's on my heart. But we have to be careful what we say. We have to be careful what words come out of our mouth, because it can tear people down. The gossiping, the question of someone's authority, maybe in the church, backbiting. We got to remember the 9th commandment. Here's what it says in Exodus chapter 20, verse 16. "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor." It also violates the more fundamental law of Christ. Love your neighbor as yourself. In Matthew 22:39 it says, "And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus called this the second greatest commandment. In Mark 12, verse 31, it says, "And the second like it is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." We see that loving God, loving your neighbor, goes against when people are slandering and talking and backbiting. We're to esteem others higher than ourselves. We're not to grumble and complain, but it is always done throughout our society. What are we going to do about this? Here's what it says in 1 Peter 2:1. "Therefore, laying aside all malice, all deceit, hypocrisy, envy, and all evil speaking." I know in the gym that working out, we always say to encourage, don't discourage. And it can be easily, depending on what gym you're in, to build these little groups and these little cliques. That can be talking about this other clique, right? We don't even think we build these cliques, but we do. We form these little groups of similarities that we don't let people in. And we may be slandering, talking about the other person, and maybe not meaning so much harm, but the things that come out of our mouth without the other person knowing, it can really put another mental state of who that person is before someone even gets to know them for themselves. How's that looking in our life? In the gym, at church, at work? What are we doing to lift others up and not tear others down? We're to love God. We're to love our neighbor. We've been given liberty and freedom in this country to love others. Not to slander, not to tear those down, not to have an agenda to make sure someone does not get promoted or does not do good if they don't believe in your opinion. This is a free country. It's a country built on freedom and principles of the United States of America we live in, right? And us as believers, we get to a chance to love the unlovable. Are we doing that? Are you doing that today? God bless, guys. Go out and continue. Check our hearts and check our hearts. What does that look like? Are we lifting others up or are we tearing them down? God bless.